All right, folks, here we are at the UKGE at Hall 2, the front of. I thought we'd have a quick look round and see what there is to see here at the expo. Right, straight off the bat, there's a big old Wayland stand filled with people playing games. They have Dystopian Wars, they've got Armoured Clash, they've got a delightful Dystopian Wars flying game set up as well, which is beautiful, and people doing the Bandai Gundam build and take, I believe it is, which is fascinating because a lot of people have been going, where do you get the big giant stumpy robots that you can build and take home with you? The answer is right there. If we sneak through this one, what have we got here? A whole host of Lego juxtaposed with some of the heavier war games, in case you fancy your Black Powder or your Star Wars Crisis Protocol. There's one for Ben. I know he loves his Crisis Protocol. Obviously, it's a massive stand for Wayland with spans of stuff and wind spans of stuff. Coming out of there, we have Allplay, and Allplay are showcasing a host of games. Be talking to their owner at some point over the weekend. So if you stay tuned to the live blog, you'll see that. Get a chance to find out about games like Wordy, about some of the little tiny box games as well. If you are a fan of quick and easy and fun strategic board games, there's a whole host of those in there. Tons of stuff drifting off into Hall 3 that way. We're not going to Hall 3 today though. You'll have to wait for that for the next time. But let's have a shifty, we'll sneak back through the Wayland stand while there's nobody here. Ooh, cracking mats. Tons of fun for all your card gaming and board gaming needs, as well as your tabletop and skirmishy games. So got that going for it. Now, coming out onto Wayland Avenue, all the streets are named. Not that anybody can see them because there's too many people and all the signs are on the floor. Waterstones here doing what Waterstones do with all of their fine selection of board games these days. Not just books anymore. It's a whole wonderful world, meaning that people can actually get their hands on stuff much easier than before. You might not have a local game store, but you probably have a Waterstones nearby. So a lot of that. Then we have Castle Combo, The Footsteps of Darwin Correspondence, Hatchet or Hachette Games, running demos of all their CCGs and board games this weekend, which is always good. If you want to learn a new game, you can just troll on in that way and give them a go. We have Richard Denning's Delightful Medusa Games and his writing stuff, one of the main men at the expo. So if you ever fancy an interesting bit of a read from fiction from one of the guys in charge of expo, then you've got that there. And then ploughing onwards, follow me cameraman, follow me. Let's see what we've got. See whether or not I can get round here without running over people. Hachette drifting into the distance with a whole host of more demo games. So many, I couldn't even run through them all. So I won't even try. It's the easiest way. We have Macro Kids, which is some sort of spinning the wheel. It's like a lottery. Make me rich, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, slightly smoky face. I have no idea what that means. Was that good? Probably. Probably for the child playing it. I can't imagine they let many kids go home without stuff. That would be terrible. In the middle of the hall then, we have the family zone. So if you're here with the kids, or big kids, then you can play a whole host of games. And one of the nice things they've done here is inbigulated some of the games. So you may have a homegrown version of some of these that just fit in your desk. These are giant versions, which makes it more engaging. And you can come in, there's a big board game library right smack bang in the center, where you can just go, I want to play this, and then they will find you somebody who knows how to play this. And then that way you don't have to worry about trying to learn it yourself. And there's a lot of stuff going on in there, including things like SETI. That was a massive one from last year, and I believe is nominated for award for this year as well, which is fantastic. On the other side, they have sort of the more kiddie-friendly imagination zone as well. So plenty of room for open gaming. If gaming is your thing, you don't have to spend money when you're here. You can just come in and play some games, see what it's all about. It is, after all, why we come, the games, not just coming to spend money. Although if you've got money to spend, it doesn't hurt. We have the OP coil spring showing off a rake of stuff. Gnome hollow. I would hope most gnomes aren't hollow. They should at least be filled with something. Although your experience may vary on that one. We have, like I say, a ton more stuff floating off around the place. Now, I've seen some interesting murder mystery thing out of the window of our little studio. So I think we're going to drop to the back of the hall now we've seen what's going on at the front. A absolute packed show once again. It's a massive show at that. You can see things like the cryptid killers, so you've got games being set out, Murder in Market Hill and the like. If you want to do a bit of crime fighting and solving crimes, Zutalis Battle Royale is absolutely stonking. People have been loving the little gribbly critters beating absolute hell out of each other, which is, you know, what critters are wont to do in life. But in amongst the games, you also have an awful lot of people just here at the show selling their wares, whether it happens to be potions for your nearest and dearest, 7 ways to get somebody to fall in love with you, 20 ways to get them to leave without crying. These are the important things that you need in life. There's also fantasy-inspired mead. In fact, there are 2 mead stores. One's multi-award winning. Who would have thought that? We also have all the paraphernalia you'll ever need if you fancy getting involved in CCGs or deck building games, card games, all of that. For those of a hobby bent, Duncan Rhodes is here with the Painting Academy. Obviously they're going to be running paint and takes, showing off the paint range that Duncan has and convincing people that they should be getting heavily involved in painting their miniatures. Get rid of the grey plastic for once in your life, folks, and see how things go. We're going to tear on down this alley and see what we have lurking around the corner. So we also have Shug, where fantasy meets tomfoolery. Shug, of course, being the shortened form of Hugh, if people are unaware of that, with a load of fools behind the whole setup there. Looks like a fascinating little CCG come board game. Interesting stuff. We have illustrators, a whole host. This is almost like Artist's Alley in some respects. So if you're looking to decorate your gaming room, be it a fantasy-esque sort of thing, or if you fancy just some beautiful, beautiful looking dragons for your wall, or indeed for your gaming area, give people the idea of what's going on. They're even available for commissions, so that's always handy. Ploughing on past this, try and find a hole and blaze a trail, which is not easy at this time of the day. And I imagine it'll get even worse later on in the weekend as the hordes double on the Saturday. There's some really nice gaming areas as well. There's the Guild of Master Craftsmen with a whole host of inset recess boards if you need to get your game on somewhere. And once again, we have some more fascinating bits of artwork from across the sci-fi genres. Ooh, there's Red Dead Redemption. For a moment I hoped it was Clint Eastwood, but I can't have everything. A whole host of hand-painted artwork as well. I'm going to try and drift back in and see what's lurking further down here. Obviously, there's quite a lot of stuff for all of your RPG needs. Every aisle has 150 million dice on it. You probably don't need that many for most games. Probably 40k you will. Beyond the Veil, interesting little RPG. Had a chat with them at the press event, so keep your eye out for that video from Renegade Studios. But if you fancy doing a bit of Mulder and Scully crime solving or trying to track down Bigfoot, then that's the RPG to do it with. So that'll be good. I am going to attempt to slot my way into the next row we come up to. And at the moment we're just skirting the outskirts of Hall 2. But as we pan round, you'll see the whole host, the multitudes thereof, laid out across from us. So this is the real meat and potatoes of why we come to UKGE, the games, whether it's people showing off a game for the first time, if you fancy getting involved in a board game testing area, we have that here. If you fancy getting a demo from the creators and designers of a lot of games, they have those as well. If I slowly slide my way past, down Siege Studios Street apparently. Lorcana, massive game last year, and this year they have a whole host of things going on. Obviously demo games, I think there are probably some tournaments running there as well. If you fancy getting a bit of the gloomies, then you can do that as well. Boda Games are here with dungeon carts, world's wonders, miniatures a go-go here, there and everywhere. And there's some stunning miniatures to be seen, especially from some of the small independent sculptors. They've got a lot going on for them. As we plough our way past into the middle of the hall, this is where some of the big setups are. So the likes of Hatchet, War Cradle, they're all about here. There's some big play areas and demo areas. So the family fun zones are here if people are after a chance to sit down, learn a game. They have a whole host of people on hand to run you through an assortment of games for all age ranges as well. And this is just like salmon going back to the spawning point. See if I can get past here. It may not be easy, but we will plow on regardless. So yeah, we have the OP, which have got a whole host of fascinating games, including Hues and Clues, which I think we had at the main stage last year, where people have to try and work out what colour on the board you've got from your game, based on your terrible clues about whether or not it's strawberry coloured or what colour blueberry actually is, because let's face it, it's not blue. I want to take a swing down here. We'll take a walk down Wayland Avenue, which I imagine at some point will terminate in a Wayland Games, but I don't think we'll get that far. But you can just see the sheer volume of playing area here. So an awful lot of people get the idea that it is just a venue that you can come and spend a lot of money picking up bits and pieces for your hobby. And while you can do that, you can equally pay your entrance and just spend the entire weekend gaming. You can work your way from one hall to another, demoing games, playing whether it's card games, board games, or quite a lot of tactile dexterity-based games this year. There's a particularly weird one going on there called Orbito, which seems to have a pop-up board on it. And now I'm intrigued as to exactly how that black and white game is played, because it does look absolutely fantastic. Who knows if that's a win? It seems tactical, but at the same time, it seems baffling. And random baffling games are the best type of games. Now, if we saunter gently onwards, we have Waterstones are here. Not just a bookshop these days. A whole host of games that you can pick up, which is nice because it brings the experience to people across the country. You might not have a friendly local game store, but nearly everywhere has a Waterstones, which is good. And as we pivot away, we see Richard Denning, writer, history, science fiction, fantasy and literature. Also one of the lovely gentlemen involved with the expo. So whether he's doing a bit of writing or working on his games, he has a whole host of those under Medusa, which are always great to see. We have Gwent being played for fans of Witcher. And let's face it, I think most people who just play Witcher these days only play it to play Gwent in the game. There is actually a story behind the rest of it, but they never get past the card tables in the taverns. So if you're interested in any of the stuff from Hatchet, keep your eye out. They're going to be on the main stage over the weekend on the live stream, so you'll be able to hear about some of the stuff they've got up and coming this year as well. Now, we have Child, that I don't want to step on. That would be bad. And we're going to head out towards the side. Now, while a lot of the big companies are in the middle, and there are quite a few of them with massive, massive stands and areas for play, when you get to the edges of the venue, this is where you start to see some of the smaller independent companies, the little people who make it all worthwhile, whether it's Crooked Dice and their gorgeous stuff for 7TV, including their fantasy ranges, and of course the university students, they have press ganged into making games for them as well. It's always important to learn a trade, that's what I've been told. So you can see there they have a stunning selection, including all of the more recent Sinbad bits and pieces, which just amuses me so much. The Time Traveller's Adventures in Space and Time. There are cosplayers here, so if you want to meet a life-sized Doctor Who, then that is possible. And if you don't have the time to meet the life-size one, you can always pick up a 28mm version instead. So, got that going for us, which is nice. So what else have we got lurking around here? Oh, some interesting bits of fantasy alien terrain. Massive pitcher plants to feed your party to. You don't need mimics, you just need the flora and fauna to actually attack them, which is the best way. We have a word game, Max Raz word game, Words Beyond Limit. And these little sort of pocket games you can pick up, something you can just have for games night when you're waiting on everybody appearing because somebody's decided to go off for food and you're having to stop the whole party, break out a card game, have a quick game or two. Eventually the rest of your party will catch up. Now, down, down, deeper and down. Again, we have some more game books in here. One of the things I've been impressed with that I've seen already this year is just the sheer volume of RPGs. There seem to be an awful lot, some of a resurgence / renaissance of RPGs. And quite a lot of them are very heavily horror-based. I don't know if it's the fad. You always hit this sort of cultural zeitgeist when things sort of creep in and all of a sudden you get quite a lot of specific genres cropping up at once. Some really nice dragons there, just to toy and torment young Ben, who's currently off doing something with more important people elsewhere, which means he's missing out on all the pretty pictures, but he can't have everything. Now, we're going to swing back round here and see what else we have. Pandora Celeste, Pirates and Sylvan, a cutthroat expansion. So it seems to be a little sort of board game dungeon crawler there with some very cute little fluffy bits and pieces. Not sure whether or not that's a game that's currently out or in a playtest version. No, it seems to be available here to buy at the expo, which is cracking. And now, where else? There is some sort of wizard not a million miles away from me with a massive hat on, and in this case a ton of more bits and pieces of RPG paraphernalia. Again, so much fun to be had. We have laser cut bits and pieces for all your Dungeon Master needs. So GM screens, dice towers, the size of which God has never seen. I dread to think what is in that. It seems to be a whole host of things, so possibly dice tower, GM screen, and boxes, so you can put it all together, which is what we want in life. Now, we're going to swing back round here onto OnTableTop Street once again. Having wandered round the outskirts, we're going to come back in and see Flick Fleet. I know a couple of years ago we had a look at a World War II dogfighting game that was based on flicking tiny little tokens around a tabletop. Flick Fleet seems to do the same thing for sci-fi enthusiasts. So your manual dexterity game attempting to do ship-to-ship combat via little pucks being kicked across a mat. And then there's also ship layouts to see what damage you've done when you've actually flicked in there, which is a terrific way of getting kids involved. You don't have to worry about stupid tactical movement or micromanaging millimeters. Just flick a coin across a table and see what you can smash. Ooh, war bases. Now, here's a spectacular range of stuff. War bases have been going for quite a while. One of the things they've come up with recently, though, are coloured versions. So up until recently, a lot of war-based stuff was plain MDF. but now they come with a print on them, so you can get your table-ready terrain in double quick time. And these, I think, are going to be an absolute blast for people who are looking to fill a table very quickly, whether it's World War II, moderns, or I know they have quite a lot of really nice Wild West stuff, as you're seeing there. So if you happen to be interested in a game like, oh, I don't know, Dead Man's Hand, for example, then it's got everything in there to put a whole town together in one foul swoop. They also have various miniature ranges, 28mm and smaller, including the Bifrost lines. So if you fancy having cowboys against dinosaurs, you can do that. If you want to get your ape men out, have a bit of a Savage World affair instead, they've got those too. So a really nice range of stuff from Warbases. A terrific little company as well. If you haven't come across them before, definitely worth checking them out. Who have we got down the bottom here then? I think we should be coming around the corner to find our cosplayers. Every year there's always a lot of people who come here and they put on a really good show, dressing up as Imperial Guard, Sisters of Battle, various doctors, and it's going to be the same again this year. They've been given their own little section where they can show off all of their wares. There's a whole host of what appears to be chaotic uniforms. I see Karn the Betrayer's head, I see Khorne Berserkers, and even a Black Templar chaplain. And the world's biggest pair of pants for the Lunar Wolves there. I really hope that Horus is fitting into those. Could be up on stilts. Apart from the Sussex Cosplay Alliance, there's also, like I say, Doctor Who and friends. Star Wars are going to be here. A whole host of Mandalorians. And they've even got a TARDIS and Captain Scarlet. I see a Tom Baker this year. One of my favourite Doctors. Although I've not seen Mr. Pertwee yet. I know he was about yesterday, so if you're after the third Doctor, then he's going to be there. And if you fancy getting your picture taken with a Dalek at the TARDIS, there's a couple of them. They've got one down here at the cosplay area, which is probably the one to come to, but there is another TARDIS lurking in Hall 3A as well. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea about what you can see here at the Expo, and whether or not you get the chance to come here today or come during the rest of the weekend. You can get tickets at the door. There's just a wealth of stuff to get involved with, whether it's gaming, playing, or just spending your time and money. Then you can do it all here. We're going to push on and see what else there is at the Expo. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.